Hate laughing all the way to the bank as you mourn your dead. Suspects deny fraud charges in court. Also tonight, new coronavirus variants are spreading fast, so the government is tightening border controls.
We are keeping a high level of vigilance and surveillance so that we can prevent outbreaks of new variants in the country.
WHO clears Kenya's preferred vaccine for emergency use. Plus,
Until as many as of the similar opinion say aye.
3 more counties give BBI reforms a clean bill of health.
Bunge la Busia limepitisha BBI reports.
More counties table motion as race to number 24 intensifies. And Bonchari constituency mourns MP John Oro Oyoka. High praise for a leader who held education close to his heart.
NTV Tonight with Mark Masai.
Flora Tieno, our sign language interpreter, and I are glad you've chosen NTV Tonight for your full brief of the developments today. And tonight the government is calling for high-level surveillance and vigilance along the porous Kenyan borders as new deadlier coronavirus strains continue to spread across the globe. The Ministry of Health says it is monitoring border activities with the aim of containing an outbreak of such variants. This comes a day after the World Health Organization cleared Kenya's preferred vaccine for emergency use. Olive Burrows starts us off.
That new, more virulent coronavirus variants are taking hold across the globe is pushing governments to institute stricter controls to contain what have been described as more deadly strains. The Ministry of Health now says it will be working with border counties to boost checks.
There is new variants of the COVID-19 that are also developing, and we want to be...
Today, WHO gave emergency use listing to 2 versions of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine, giving the green light for these vaccines to be rolled out globally through COVAX.
The World Health Organization's approval of Kenya's preferred Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine coming after international immunization organizations recommended 2 doses with an interval of 8 to 12 weeks for adults. WHO says it can be used in all countries, including those where new variants have been identified, like South Africa. Kenya plans to roll out the vaccine in 3 phases. First, sometime this month, targeting frontliners, and the second begins in July, targeting close to 10 million people, mostly with underlying conditions.
The vaccine is not a silver bullet. Even countries which like UK, which I think as of today has hit the 15 million mark of people vaccinated, is still in a total lockdown.
The AstraZeneca Oxford vaccine becoming only the second to have received WHO authorization after Pfizer BioNTech. But as COVAX member states prepare to receive the vaccine from late February, the number of global coronavirus infections has dropped to almost half of what was reported in January. The WHO warning against a relaxation of containment measures.
Staying with the pandemic, the new coronavirus variants are still spreading across the globe. On a day, the cumulative global infections hit 109.7 million people, claiming over 2.4 million lives as recoveries reached 84.3 million. Now to the status in Kenya today. From the latest round of testing on 2,848 samples, there were 174 people who were found positive, adding to the caseload, which has now reached 103,188. 2 more patients succumbed to COVID-19, raising the death toll to 1,797. 86 more COVID-19 patients have recovered from the virus, and the total recoveries are now 85,336. Quick recovery to the 258 patients admitted across the country and the 1,190 patients who are on home-based isolation and care. Staying alive, 2 other vices ongoing in the country And this is from the courts, where 4 people suspected to be part of an identity theft racket have been charged with stealing over 2.8 million shillings from, get this, the dead, through mobile banking fraud in a well-crafted cybercrime syndicate. The 4 suspects were arrested after detectives unearthed damning details of how they used personal data of the dead to sweep clean their bank accounts. Zainab Ismail has that report.
As family and friends gathered to bid farewell to the late PCA Secretary General Reverend Peter Kania in July last year, a heist was in the offing. The late Reverend's mobile phone data was allegedly obtained by a syndicate of cybercrime fraudsters and would later be used to steal money from another dead man, a businessman, Amos Ngata Mwiruri, who died almost 4 months later in November 2020. DCI detectives say the fraudsters managed to transfer more than 2.8 million shillings from Ngata's bank accounts through financial mobile applications to the late Reverend's SIM card and swiftly withdrew the cash on diverse dates. 4 suspects were arrested and arraigned Tuesday to face the fraud charges. The first 2 suspects, Muguna Mutembe and Ayugu Eugene Shivachi, faced 12 counts of stealing 2.8 million from the late Ngata's account held at the KCB, Equity Bank and NCBA. A charge they denied and were released on a 500,000 cash bail each. In the second file, the 2, together with a taxi driver identified as Morris Koomeriungu and a Jane Washuka Gadhogo, are accused of being in possession of 39 stolen SIM cards registered under different subscribers, which they would not account for.
The case will be mentioned on the 3rd of March in court number 5 for pretrial directions and fixing of hearing dates.
Detectives say the syndicate targets dead, wealthy individuals whose families have placed death announcements in the dailies. They also target telephone lines of the elderly and those who have travelled abroad, seemingly due to minimal chances of suspicion. The fraudsters are said to conduct swim swaps to hijack the victims' phone numbers. They then use it to access personal data and bank accounts through mobile banking apps in a broad network which allegedly spreads all the way to the National Register of Persons used to obtain information, including ID numbers required to register a mobile line. In the meantime, the Directorate of Criminal Investigations has appealed to anyone who might have fallen victim to the SIM swapping syndicate to report to its operations branch at the DCI headquarters. Zainab Ismail, NTV.
Stay woke, people. And now to politics. And 4 top party leaders have mooted a plan to build a super alliance ahead of the 2022 general elections. Musalia Mudavadi, Kalonzo Musyoka, Gideon Moi and Moses Wetangula say they offer a better leadership alternative for the country. And as Zacchaeus Mosami now tells us, the populous Western region is their first stop in popularizing the proposed outfit. As we try to locate that story, my apologies for that. Let's get to the other political side of things. The number of counties that have now passed the Constitution Amendment Bill 2020 have risen to 6 after 3 more assemblies voted to approve the proposed reforms. Busia, Trans Nzoia and West Pokot now join Siaya, Homa Bay and Kisumu counties in giving the quest for reforms a clean bill of health. Vincent Odor has that report.
Will as many as of the similar opinion say aye? Aye. And will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes.
And with that, West Pokot became the first county in the Rift region to approve the Constitution Amendment Bill 2020 by unanimous decision. Counties in the region considered Deputy President William Ruto's political turf have been apprehensive about the document. But for West Pokot, the good outweigh the bad, they say.
Tax we are paying around 16%. Those 16% grace period for 7 years will help them build themselves and be great people in this country.
MCS kupata CDF yao
Unajua MC atapata 5% CDF yake. Sasa MC atakuwa na committee yake. Kwa hivyo hiyo ni mambo mazuri ambayo sisi wenyewe tunaona kama jamii wa Pokot.
Hii tumeongezewa constituency moja mpya ya kuwakilisha watu hii hawa watu wa Kenya wanaishi hapa. Na kwa kweli tumeona hiyo, tumefurahia. Kuna nyongeza ya pesa ambayo mnajua nyinyi mmesoma.
Busia became the first county in Western Region to vote in favor of the bill, with 53 MCAs voting for and 1 against. The county legislators insist the BBI-driven law reforms will empower devolution and enhance national leadership.
Bunge la Busia limepiga yes. Hizi ni safari mbili za kihistoria ambao tumeangalia maisha ya watu wetu.
Sasa saa hizi kama utashindwa, wewe sasa unakuwa official opposition. Hakuna tena maneno ya vita, wewe nayo una ofisi yako. So ukishindwa, enda kwa ofisi yako straight. Hapana tena anza demonstration, kufanya watu kuuana, kukosana, hapana.
We ask those with similar opinions say aye. Aye. Those with good opinions say nay.
The BBI bill has also sailed through in Trans Nzoia County, with 39 MCAs voting in favor and 2 against. Majority of the MCAs here arguing that the BBI-driven changes will end the winner-take-all system in presidential elections, which they say has been contributing to post-election violence. The 3 raising the number of assemblies to approve the bill to 6 against 1 after Baringo County shot it down last week. At least 24 counties are required to pass the bill, after which it is to be tabled in both houses of parliament. Vincent Oduor, NTV.
Now back to what seems to be a coalition in the making. Talked about 4 political leaders, and this is a report by Zacchaeus Mosamio, Musalia Mudavadi, Kalonzo Musyoka, Gideon Moi and Moses Wetangula say they offer a better leadership alternative for the country. Let's get that report.
It was on the campaign trail in Kabuchai constituency where Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka, KANU's Gideon Moi, Amani National Congress leader Musalia Mudavadi and Ford Kenya's Moses Wetangula opened up about a plan to build an alliance ahead of 2022.
Tumekuja hapa leo kwa roho safi, kwa nia moja, kutoa ishara ya kisiasa Kenya nzima. Wajue kwamba Mudavadi, Weta, Kalonzo na Gideon Moi kutoka sasa kuelekea mwaka ujao mpaka tuchukue serikali ya Kenya, tutakuwa kana kitu kimoja.
Kisimama hapa, tungependa kuwaeleza nyinyi sisi tumeshikana, tumeamini kwamba tutafanya kazi pamoja na tumeamini kwamba ile badiliko ambayo itakuja kwa Kenya itatokea hapa.
Mtuone hivi, tutashikana vile tumesimama, tutabadilisha maisha ya Wakenya kwa njia ya manufaa. Tunataka tutembee na nyinyi.
Mimi nikienda kutembea na wenzangu kutafuta uongozi wa nchi, lazima niwe na vijana, niwe na Chris wa Marwa, niwe na Majimbo, niwe na Ferdinand, niwe na Mama Catherine na wengine.
Kalonzo and Musalia have been open about going the distance in 2022, even urging NASA co-principal and the 2017 presidential candidate Raila Odinga to clear the way.
Lakini mambo yote tukafanya kisha baadaye, badala heshima na kudumisha urafiki na undugu, tunaona chama chetu cha wenzetu ambao ni wananasa wa ODM wanasimamisha candidate Matungu. Lakini hapa nadhani hawakusimamisha.
But all politics is local, they say, and even before venturing nationward, the leaders are contending with multiple presidential aspirants from the Western region. The quest for Luhya unity remains elusive.
Nimeona mtu mwingine anaitwa Mugiza Kitui pia anakuja kujaribu, anataka kutisha hawa watu. Mimi ningependa kuambia Mugiza Kitui, yeye sio size ya Weta na Mudavadi. Hata yeye sio size yangu. Akuja atafute UMCA kwanza, ndio aanze kutoa mambo mengine.
The party leaders will be heading to Matungu constituency Wednesday to drum up support for their preferred candidate in the by-election. Zakis Masame, NTV.
From politicians trying to stay alive in the political field to those who have left us, and mourners continue to visit the Kisii home of Bonchari Member of Parliament John Oro Oyoka, who passed away last evening at Aga Khan Hospital in Kisumu. Residents of his constituency have been eulogizing the former teacher as a leader who was committed to raising education standards and youth empowerment. Leila Mohammed has that report.
Tears flowed freely as those who gathered at the home of Oro Oyoka mourned a man who gave his life in service to his people. While the women wept, the men sat in silence, pondering the loss of their son, their leader and representative at the national stage. Leaders who had come to pay their respects to a man who they once served with stood in prayer to honor him and pray for the family he has left behind.
Na huyu Oro ni mtu mpole, ana hata shida ana. Hata alipokuwa anakuja ofisi anakuja anafuata vitu ya Bonchari kwa ofisi yangu.
Hajaenda hivyo hivyo, amewacha familia, amewacha mbegu nyingi za wale watu waligusa pia mwalimu.
President Uhuru Kenyatta has eulogized the late MP as a determined leader, noting that death has robbed the country of a determined and progressive grassroots leader who used his long experience as a teacher and administrator to develop his constituents through education.
Hata shule za mfundi ujumbe wetu amewahi chenga na amewahi fungua singine.
Hasa ukiangalia mabarabara yameng'ara.
Ni kuangalia watoto vile alikuwa mtu wa elimu, alitusaidia sana.
The other day around 7 buses across all wards.
Mid last year, Oro suffered a mild stroke and was admitted to hospital. Oro was serving his second term in Parliament after a short stint in the Assembly in 2014. In his first term, Oro served only for 6 months before the Court of Appeal ordered a by-election, which he lost.
I, Oro Oyoka John.
But in 2017, he was re-elected to Parliament through the People's Democratic Party, PDP. The legislator, who was born in 1950 in Suneka, has left behind a wife and 5 children. Leila Mohammed, NTV.
Condolences to the family. And now to the court. The Kahawa Law Court has issued orders barring officers from the Anti-Terrorism Police Unit, ATPU, from interrogating former Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko while he is still hospitalized. The court also ruled that the former Nairobi county boss will face terror charges after he is discharged from hospital. Sonko was admitted to the Nairobi hospital last week after he complained of stomach pains while in a police cell. Sonko has been admitted at the Nairobi hospital for close to a week now. The case will be heard on the 26th of February. Still in the courts, 4 individuals, among them 2 Marsabit County officials, have been charged with being in possession of firearms without a license. The court heard that Galmajara Galgalo, Musa Dalacha, Mohammed Galmagar and Ibrahim Abduba were on February 6th found with firearms at Elabora area in Turbi sub-county, Marsabit County. They've all pleaded not guilty to the charges pressed against them, including that of being in possession of ammunition without a certificate. Galmajara and Musa Dalacha have also been charged with being in the country unlawfully. The 2 are said to be Ethiopians. The prosecution is opposed to the release of the 2 Ethiopians on bail on grounds that they don't have a fixed residence and are likely to miss court proceedings. From the courts, we turn to a break now on NTV Tonight, but still ahead.
We have seen this menace come back again. And so we are going to be in full action going forward.
Return of the banned single-use plastics 4 years after they were outlawed, and the government's stern warning. Stay with us.
Miaka 20 safari
New Tuzo Yogurt Cup. Size yako, bei yako.
With the Stay Soft refill, saving money is as easy as snip, pour, mix with water, and shake. Stay Soft refill. It's 2 liters of Stay Soft for up to 30% less.
All the days and the nights, reading for them and to them. You don't stop, and neither do we. Help build a strong foundation for your growing child with Nestle Nunkid. Nestle Nunkid 4. Our best for you.
This looks different.
It is. See for yourself.
Okay, so it's a photo.
Look closer. Photos within photos.
What about video?
8K video. Beyond cinema quality.
So...
You can pull portrait quality photos straight from video.
But will it last the whole trip?
Battery for the whole trip and the way back.
This is different.
Told you.
Here we are, living in the moment. And here we are, dreaming in the open. Now look around, isn't this a new day? Make a move, doing things a new way. A new way. 'Cause this is our world, and this is our time. These are our plans, we're gonna let them shine. This is our place in the human race, and we won't stop dreaming. No, we won't stop dreaming.
Build your tomorrow today. Tononoka Group, at the core of every construction.
New Tuzo Yogurt Cup. Size yako, bei yako.
Mom, we can't keep up with the charade. You can't fake a pregnancy.
We'll take care of that later, darling. When Matthias has signed the marriage certificate so that the contract tying him to you for 10 years will be valid. And so, not a word about this to anybody. Is that clear?
Watch out!
I think it's strange that no one from La Bonita has come home since we called an alert.
Please help me! I'm in here!
Timeless love. Gift your loved one a plot of value-added land at the Garden of Joy and get an instant 14K cash voucher for a 500K plus deposit. Call us today on 0790 300 300.
NTV Tonight with Mark Masai.
Welcome back. The swarms of desert locusts continue to ravage crops and pasture, posing a great threat to food security. Now, this is according to the UN's Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, which is mitigating the spread of the locusts in partnership with the government. FAO says efforts to fight the pests in Kenya might be impeded by less effective means being used by neighboring countries. NTV's Melita Oletenges now reports.
The locust invasion in Kenya continues to leave a trail of destruction in a number of counties, even as the government, together with the Food and Agriculture Organization, employs measures to contain the spread. The mist spraying insecticides method was assessed as so far being successful during a visit by the government spokesperson and FAO officials in Meru and Isiolo counties.
Initially there were 16 counties, and now they have been reduced to majorly to 6 counties that are, badly affected.
We had all the predictions that locust may come back. Being a migratory pest which does not look for visa to cross your border, there's nothing much you can do, but you prepare for it. And so we were so prepared that for now we can tell you out of the number of swarms that have been reported here, 80% of it is gone.
Locals in Meru and Isiolo County who have been dealing with the unforgiving effects of the pests that devour their crops continue to feel the pinch, calling on the government to be more rigorous in their approach.
Tumepata hasara kubwa sana kama ya mahindi unaona hapo hivi. Zimekula yote miraa.
And the invasion of locusts certainly undermines the accomplishment or the achievement of that food security pillar, and therefore as a government will deploy every effort to ensure that we are able to contain the locust invasion that threatens the food security.
As fervent as the efforts may be within the borders, the undoing could lie in the neighboring countries.
The other countries that surround us may not be putting in the same kind of effort, and therefore the likelihood that locusts move in from the neighboring countries into our countries also is very high.
The government is keen on using sprayer crafts and ground control approach to contain a second wave. Milita Oletenges, NTV.
3 years ago, Kenya made the historic move to ban single-use plastic bags. But now, 3 years later, the gains made are being reversed as the same plastic bags make their way back into the market, although illegally. Now the Ministry of Environment is putting traders on notice, stressing that the bags remain illegal and that action will be taken against anyone found with them. Anita Nkonge has that report.
We have seen this menace come back again. And so we are going to be in full action going forward.
The menace that PS Kipto is talking about is this: the re-emergence of single-use plastics in the Kenyan market. If you walk in the streets, hawkers are using them openly. The porous borders too have made it possible for the plastics to be snuck in. This is despite the February 28, 2017 gazetted ban on the use of the material in a bid to improve the country's overall environment. In a bid to combat the re-emergence, the PS is calling on Kenyans to help.
Our Kenyans need to be educated so that they help us to actually address this problem. Because compliance is more when people willingly subscribe to the law, rather than us using, our enforcement officers to deal with that.
The Ministry of Environment confirmed that surveillance has been heightened in a bid to curb the problem.
More than 60 people in Nairobi County have been arrested for being in possession of banned plastics. If you are found, you are punished very heavily. I've seen fines here. In Makarada court, someone was fined 70,000, another one 3,000, depending on the gravity of the problem. So why should you lose so much for only something that costs you so little?
Retailers and manufacturers who are found using single-use polythene bags are liable to a fine of between 2 million Kenyan shillings and 4 million Kenyan shillings, or imprisoned between 1 and 4 years, or even both. Plastics have been linked to environmental problems such as clogged drains and negative effects on marine and wildlife, amongst other harmful effects on the overall environment. Anita Nkonge, NTV.
About 10 years ago, NTV brought you a story of a mother who dropped out of school for lack of school fees. But after 13 years of marriage, she went back to school. Now, reporter Gabriel Kudaka has been to Nandi County and brings us the inspirational story of Priska Magut, who recently graduated with a bachelor's degree in education.
February 2011, we found Priska Magut attentively following a Kiswahili lesson at Itigo Girls High School in Nandi. At the time, she was in Form 1 and was the oldest in her class. 9 years later, she achieved her dream and joined the ranks of university graduates.
Wamama karibu 10 by January wameamua kwenda shuleni kusoma.
She graduated with a bachelor's degree in education from Moi University, and as she proudly dons this academic regalia, she recounts how it all started.
Wasasi wangu hawakuwa na uwezo wa kunilipia karo, so I was a bit discouraged. Nikaamua nikaoleka. Kwa wakati mmoja kulikuwa na mgeni ametembea kwa kanisa yetu na akatuambia tukue na maono.
During her time in high school, her age did not earn her any special treatment.
At times tukifanya makosa sisi wote tunachapwa sisi wote.
She says she had to find a balance between her classwork and her motherly duties. Priska Magut's academic journey that began 13 years after she got married is a clear testimony that it's never too late to start, and for her, age is just but a number.
Ati mwanamke asisome, akisoma atakuja kukalia. Nami si kuchukulia hivyo.
While in school, Priska performed well and pushed her children to do the same.
Akuja na results zake, tuone, tulio unaona kama mimi na miaka yangu naweza pata hii, why not you? So hapo ndo tulipata inspiration.
Although she is looking forward to joining the job market, the mother of 3 says she is afraid that her age might not favor her in securing employment with the Teachers Service Commission. Still, this is not the end for her. She hopes to further her studies in the near future. Gabriel Kudaka, NTV.
Priska, thank you for that inspirational story. I thought it was late for me to go back to school 13 years after my degree, but that just shows me it's never too late. And all the best as you push forward. Coming up in business news.
This ICD will be extremely busy. We appreciate now it's not very busy because people are still getting their goods from Nairobi, yeah, but only because this line is not completed.
8 months after its launch, the Naivasha Inland Container Depot remains inactive, but the government remains upbeat about near-term prospects. NTV Business is next with Dan Mwangi.
For a better tomorrow, don't forget to do the 1, 2, 3 with Colgate every night.
New Tuzo Yogurt Cup. Size yako, bei yako.
What is family? Family is a solid foundation to build on and a strong pillar to lean on. It is believing in each one of us for the betterment of all of us. Family is working together today to win together tomorrow. It is creating opportunities for a lifetime of happiness. It is knowing we are valued, respected, understood, and most of all, supported. The future is bright because you can always bank on family. Family Bank, with you for life.
Breaking news from Molfix. Let's see what they're developing right now.
Pants is just for me. It really feels very comfy.
Molfix pants with anatomic fit technology. New Molfix pants, an invention from babies for babies.
You should also try Molfix.
The Ministry of Health would like to remind all Kenyans that coronavirus is still among us and that we must continue to adhere to all preventative measures to contain the spread of this deadly disease, including proper wearing of face masks.
Avoid wearing your mask under your nose, under your chin, because this doesn't protect you. The droplets can still land in the environment and things can still land on your nose and mouth.
Komesha Corona. Okoa maisha.
Ni ukweli imeshuka bei. Smartphone ya nguvu 4G, screen kubwa ya kuwatch game ni 3999 pekee.
Ni ukweli, ni kutoka Safaricom. Iko na betri kubwa na apps zote za Google unazozipenda. Isitoshe inakuja na 3 months free WhatsApp, unachat hadi usiku na kesho ingine.
Ni ukweli, plus free education bundles za Shupavu 291 na KICD. What?
Ni ukweli, bei ya Neon Ray Pro sasa ni 3999 pekee. Pata smartphone ya nguvu kwa bei nafuu kutoka kwa duka la Safaricom au dila leo. Safaricom, for you.
New Tuzo Yogurt Cup. Size yako, bei yako.
Mix of the Week in association with Airtel.
I don't charge my energy.
For the journey, for the journey. For the journey.
Bossy, bossy.
Fast just got faster. Get fully locked on Airtel 4G. Now wider coverage to download, stream and browse at high speed. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Good evening and welcome to NTV Business. Let's get down to just that, business. Now, 8 months since its launch, the Naivasha Inland Container Depot remains inactive. The government now says the dry port, which sits on over 1,000 acres of land and has a capacity of loading 2 million tons of cargo annually, will kick off activity once the meter gauge railway linking the standard gauge railway to the old railway line is complete. Bridget Ngana keeps us on track with the developments.
Kenyans will have to wait for at least another 7 months before the Naivasha Inland Container Depot can begin to deliver on its promise of revolutionizing cargo transport within the country and across the East African region. Transport Cabinet Secretary James Masharia has attributed the inactivity at the Inland Container Depot to the construction of the 24-kilometer medium gauge railway.
It will be more competitive to use the rail as opposed to using the road. And this is something which people have to really appreciate. From June this year, this ICD will be extremely busy. 6 years ago, we had only 20 million tons coming through the port of Mombasa. Now we have 34 million tons. And this demonstrates that we are growing as a nation. It demonstrates that we are supporting our neighboring countries, which are landlocked. And this is what will bring development, not just in our country, by the entire region.
The government maintains that the completion of the meter gauge railway slated for September this year will help taxpayers unlock the value for money sourced to finance the railway projects. Funding for the meter gauge railway estimated at 10 billion shillings and the rehabilitation of the existing Nakuru, Kisumu and Naivasha Malaba routes will be sourced internally.
You've also been part of that criticism that says it's a railway to nowhere, it's a road to nowhere. But in 2 years, you've actually seen the transformation of this place. Last year, our exports increased by 31 billion shillings. Our imports reduced by nearly 300 billion shillings. So it does show that our economy is producing.
Naysayers of the government policy to have all cargo transported by rail from Mombasa into the East African hinterland argue that the move will kill the economy of the Great North Road. But government officials say the revival of the railway line is akin to giving life to the dead pit stops along the old railway.
Mizigo ya wananchi toka Mombasa hadi Malaba itachukua siku 2. Mambo haya ya infrastructure inasaidia si mambo ya uchumi na biashara, lakini pia mambo ya utalii. Hayo ndio mambo ambayo tunaweza kuinua kama serikali ya Uhuru Kenyatta.
Even as we are planning that phase of the SGR moving from Naivasha up all the way to Kisumu,
the MGR will start working this year. That is something to celebrate.
So in the next 6 months or so, this medium gauge railway from Longonot to Naivasha is expected to be complete, and this will in a sense revive the ICD, and this is also expected to see a pickup of goods from here towards other parts of the East African region. Bridget Ngana, NTV, Nakuru.
Now, the Law Society of Kenya has succeeded in reversing the move by the president to have the Kenya Meat Commission managed by the Ministry of Defense. The move, which caught many by surprise in 2020, was ostensibly done to provide the cash-strapped organization with support in terms of prudent management and direct sales to the forces. Justice Anthony Mrima slammed the brakes on it, citing the violation of Article 10 of the Constitution, and which calls for public participation. The court has halted the move for a period of 90 days to give the Attorney General time to rectify the anomaly. The Council of Governors Agriculture Committee says it has been left out of the ongoing reforms the Minister of Agriculture is championing in the sector, key among them the 7 bills meant to reinstate the cash crop boards. The governors say while agriculture is a devolved function, their absence from the changes being instituted by the ministry is unconstitutional, and they will now seek an audience with the President regarding the implementation of the Tea Act and other cash crop bills.
As county governments, we have resolved that we will not allow to be treated as mere observers, but rather as a level of government that co-creates policies, rules, and others regarding devolved functions that enhances implementation of projects by our farmers and pastoralists. We have therefore proposed that we are going to engage, we are going to lobby the National Assembly, the Senate, and other relevant institutions for a total review of the architecture of these bills, so as to ensure that counties are enabled effectively and that we offer services to our farmers as is required.
All right, now let's take a look at what you can expect in your business daily tomorrow. And the lead story is Safaricom shortlisted for Ethiopia telco license bid, which is a significant development. We also have Mombasa, Kisumu, Malaba passenger train returns in September. And the court saves Kosewe from auction to auction in 330 million shilling debt dispute. So you would want to get to read that and understand why you could still be having your fish at Kosewe or otherwise. These and other stories of business which will be on the Business Daily tomorrow. And business done, and so am I. Good night.
New Tuzo Yogurt Cup. Size yako, bei yako.
Fast just got faster. Get fully locked on Airtel 4G. Now wider coverage to download, stream and browse at high speed. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Do your gums hurt? Yeah. Does your toothpaste contain sage, eucalyptus, myrrh, chamomile? All that in one toothpaste? Yes, try Colgate Herbal. Colgate Herbal contains nature's best herbs and Colgate's fluoride technology to give you strong teeth and healthy gums. Ah, Colgate Herbal. Let's go. Colgate Herbal for strong teeth and healthy gums naturally.
Like every mother, I'm worried about dangerous insects, especially mosquitoes, which spread diseases like malaria to my loved ones. This year, I'm not afraid. I'm using Mortein Doom. Mortein Doom All Insect Killer provides protection in seconds. Not even a single mosquito is spared. Because even one mosquito bite can cause malaria. Mortein Doom provides protection in seconds.
Kijani Ridge is Tatu City's premier neighborhood, offering a 1.5 acre fully serviced plot in a controlled development. The plots overlook a beautiful dam with natural green spaces. Kijani Ridge is a walking distance from Nover Pioneer and Crawford International Schools. Families are already moved in and more homes are under construction. Contact us for daily site visits and join us for our mega open weekend on 6th and 7th March.
New Tuzo Yogurt Cup. Size yako, bei yako.
Just before we get into the sports, Tourism Cabinet Secretary Najib Balala has stood by his decision to appoint Naomi Campbell as Brand Kenya's international ambassador, even after Oscar award-winning actress Lupita Nyong'o disabused the notion he created that she was unreachable.
Reeling from the shock of a pandemic, Kenya's Ministry of Tourism has been pulling out all the stops, and on Monday launched 29 signature experiences in a campaign targeting the domestic market.
Some products are very expensive. Even myself, I cannot afford. So I cannot demand they must reduce the price because I want to go. Maybe that product is not mine.
Okay.
It's for somebody else who can afford and will afford to pay.
It's in an effort to attract this elite clientele that the ministry appointed renowned model Naomi Campbell as Magical Kenya's international ambassador, a decision that proved divisive, with some making the case that the Oscar award-winning actress Lupita Nyong'o would have been the better choice. In defense of Campbell's appointment, Balala created the impression that Lupita, who's made it big in Hollywood, more or less resided in an ivory tower. But Lupita, in colloquial terms, clapped back on Twitter, rejecting the notion that her gatekeepers made it difficult for the Ministry of Tourism to engage her services. "I'm right here, baby," she tweeted. In conversation with Mark Masai on Monday night, Balala responded, standing by his decision.
In fact, the best decision ever is to get the best celebrity to work for Kenya, and for that matter, for free. She offered herself.
He did, however, point out that they did not appoint Ms. Campbell to the exclusion of all else.
What was your involvement beyond being the subject?
And that there remains an opportunity for Lupita to sell the Kenyan brand.
Anytime she's ready, I'm ready.
Olive Barrows, NTV.
It's now time to get into the sports, and coming up with Watson Karuma. Coach Zico receives an award for his December exploits. Details coming up on NTV Sports and plenty more.
Raukia siku njema na tunukiwa offers kila siku. Pata offers zote mahali pamoja ili uongeze zaidi, utume SMS zaidi na ubrowse zaidi.
Wewe usijali. Tuma namba ya kila supplier kwa hiyo soko. Ndio nitaongea na kila mmoja wao.
Very good. Piga *444 utunukiwe Credo double.
Raukia siku njema na tunukiwa offers kila siku.
New Tuzo Yogurt Cup. Size yako, bei yako.
Parenting is all about learning when to be tough and when to be gentle. Tough, gentle. But when it comes to fever, you need to be both. Panadol Baby and Infant starts to work on fever in 15 minutes and is gentle on the tummy. Tough call. Panadol Baby and Infant. Tough on fever, gentle on your child.
Maji mdosi wangu ametupa simu yangu ndani ya maji.
Mdosi wako kwa sawa. Venye Nkirota ameniambia ajui na akimpigia simu ashiki. Hi, guy, what the?
For the women who deserve more, Moped is now in Kenya and more than 40 countries. With its nylon-free surface, new Moped has unique softness and up to 100% protection. Your skin will love it.
Sensitivity pain fast with Sensodyne Rapid Action for clinically proven relief in 60 seconds.
Gauge 28 at 670 Kenya shillings. Gauge 30 at 370. Gauge 30 Met at 530. Royal Alu Zinc at 280 Kenya shillings. Call us today on 0722 638383. Royal Mabati Factory Limited. We are the best.
New Tuzo Yogurt Cup. Size yako, bei yako.
From far with you. I even gifted you a magnificent house. Rosa, it's the thought that counts. Please help me.
When it comes to fever, you need to be both. Panadol Baby and Infant starts to work on fever in 15 minutes and is gentle on the tummy. Panadol Baby and Infant. Tough on fever, gentle on your child.
Mom, we can't keep up with the charade. You can't fake a pregnancy.
We'll take care of that later, darling. When Matthias has signed the marriage certificate so that the contract tying him to you for 10 years will be valid. And so, not a word about this to anybody. Is that clear?
Watch out!
I think it's strange that no one from La Bonita has come home since we called an alert.
Please help me! I'm in here!
Timeless love. Gift your loved one a plot of value-added land at the Garden of Joy and get an instant 14K cash voucher for a 500K plus deposit. Call us today on 0790 300 300.
New Year comes with New Year deals. Renew your corporate subscription and get a bonus. Subscribe to Nation e-paper for 3 months and get 1 week absolutely free. 6 months and get 2 weeks absolutely free. 1 year and get 3 weeks absolutely free. To sign up, visit epaper.nationmedia.com or email subscription@ke.nationmedia.com. Offer valid till 28th February 2021.
Welcome to NTV Sport. I'm Watson Karuma.
15 points were to play for, and 100% record was the result at the end of the month of December. This coach also led his team to scoring 9 goals and only conceding a single goal in the process. KCBFC was also leading on the log during that month, earning Zedekiah Zico the December Coach of the Month award. Coach Zico was awarded the trophy today when he also received some 50,000 Kenya shillings that came with the accolade. In December, Zico's charges beat Posta Rangers, City Stars, Kakamega Homeboys, Bandari and Wazito. He beat his counterpart at Kariobangi Sharks, William Muluya, who won 3 matches and drew twice over the same period. The monthly award was presented to Coach Zico by the panel of judges chairman, and that is James Wayne.
Everybody may work. This is not a trophy for me. I think it's for the whole team, from the management up to the players. Sisi kama team nafikiri tuko on the right track na tulikuwa na objective league ikianza, na nafikiri kufikia sasa tuko within our objective of the season.
Congratulations to Coach Zico. Now, over 400 referees officiating in different football Kenya Federation leagues have gone through physical endurance tests at the Kericho Green Stadium in preparation for the rest of the top season. Medical checkups were also conducted on the officials, who also went through a refresher training on the laws of the game in an event attended by FKF Deputy President Doris Petra and FKF Referees Committee Chairman Joseph Handere. This follows a pre-season training that was held for the referees before the start of the current season, and another clinic held in Kitui that saw 93 referees taken through basic referee training courses.
Under the auspices of FIFA and CAF, what we are trying to do and the instructors are trying to do, they are trying to put us in par so that football will be uniform. So in terms of comparison, I can say we are almost at the same level, because what is taught outside there in other countries in Africa, even in Europe, is the same thing that is taught in Kenya.
We usually do it 4 times in a year. This is quarterly one, we are here. And as my colleague has said,
World Marathon champion Ruth Chemgetich looks ahead to a fruitful 2021 despite February's cancellation of the RAK Half Marathon due to effects of the coronavirus pandemic. The 26-year-old talked about her plans at the National Cross Country Championships, where she improved on her previous 20th place finish to clock 3rd.
Nikasema acha nikuje nichipime kwa hii cross nikijiandalia Istanbul half marathon mwezi wa 4. Vile nili perform London nikakuwa namba 3, so I'm aiming for Olympic. Na walk up niende ni try my best to bring a gold medal.
Wishing Ruth all the best. Now, Champions League football is back in Barcelona in action for the biggest game of their season so far, the first leg round of 16 tie against PSG. Due to that crushing loss to Juventus in the group stage finale last year, Barca finished 2nd in their group and are now facing a group winner. PSG are likely to be without injured Brazil forward Neymar and Argentina international Angel Di Maria for this much anticipated clash. In the night's other clash, Budapest's Puskás Stadium will play host to the first leg between RB Leipzig and Liverpool. The first ever competitive meeting between the two sides will be held at the neutral venue due to coronavirus restrictions, and Liverpool will be looking to take advantage of Leipzig's lack of home fixture in the 2-leg tie. Can't get enough of football, can we? Now, Timo Werner scored and assisted as he ended a 14-game goal drought to help Chelsea to victory over Newcastle in the English Premier League at the Stamford Bridge. Werner's cross rebounded out to Oliver Giroud, who opened scoring for Chelsea in the first half. The France striker had replaced the injured Tammy Abraham. Summer signing Werner then made it 2-0 8 minutes later, scrambling in a flick on at the back post. Victory sees Chelsea move back up to fourth place ahead of West Ham. The Hammers, who comfortably beat Sheffield United 3-0, are level on points with Chelsea, but both sides sit above defending champions Liverpool as competition for Champions League places heats up. On Wednesday, Burnley host Fulham as leaders Manchester City travel to Liverpool to face Everton. Now, Serena Williams produced a stunning performance to beat second seed Simona Halep and set up an Australian Open semi-final against Naomi Osaka. The 39-year-old American, bidding for a record equaling 24th Grand Slam title, won 6-3, 6-3 against the Romanian. Early on Thursday, Osaka cruised past Si Su Wei 6-2, 6-2 in slightly over an hour. The Japanese world number 3 faces the 7-time champion on Wednesday for a place in Saturday's final. It will be the first meeting between the pairs since their infamous 2018 US Open final. In the men's pairing, top seed Novak Djokovic will meet Grand Slam newbie Aslan Karatsev in the semi after the Serb came from behind to beat Alexander Zverev in 4 sets.
She's got to be thrilled, Patrick. She wants a little fist pump from
They call her the GOAT, and she wraps up NTV Sport. Thank you very much for your time. Have a lovely night.
Well, from one bald-headed but well-bearded brother to another, it's a good night. Thank you for watching NTV tonight, and thank you to Florentina for the sign language interpretation and the team that made this possible. Keep safe. Have a good night.